What up, everybody? It's here. The end of the month is here. The end of the month, I mean by the end of April. It's actually the end of May, but the end of April's boxes is here, so time for our monthly review. And holy shit, so we have 18 boxes. 18! Yeah, so remember last month when I said I'm going to cut down on the boxes? Like, just kidding, we're doing even more. So, I've canceled a lot of these boxes. It just takes a while for them to phase out because you pay for so many months in advance. So, we have 18 boxes to go through, and this is going to be a super long video. But, it's going to be good because we got lots of good shit. So, anyone tuning into this channel for the first time, welcome. This channel is all about finding the best box. Finding the best monthly box for you. And we rate them on a number of variables, and that's what we're here for. So it's also, another thing it's about is the community, about you guys, about you all coming here and just having a place to come and chat and talk about whatever you want, so or mostly nerdy stuff. So that's kind of the things that we're doing on this channel for anyone just tuning in. So we're going to get through this countdown. We have 18 boxes, starting at number 18, going up to number 1. I'm not going to spend too much time on each individual box because this video is already going to be crazy long. So, if you're wondering about anything in an individual box, please refer to the individual videos. Each one of these boxes has a separate video where I go in depth into every item and a cost analysis and many other things. So, feel free to refer back to those. So, we'll keep it nice and short for most of these boxes. So, how are we rating these? So I've come up with a system recently on how to rate these boxes. I call it the 3 V's, and it is value, variety, and virtue. What that means is, the first one, obviously really simple, value. How much are these boxes worth? Like, each box has a value of the items in there, what everything's worth. So it's pretty simple. Ideally, you want to be double. Like, that's like the goal, but you don't have to be. That's like the end of the race that everyone wants to get to. It's awesome if a box can make it double what you paid. If not, then you want to get as close as you can to that, but definitely more than you paid for it, because they're mystery boxes and chances are there's going to be a few items in there you probably don't like, so you can't be only getting back what you put into it, so you want more than that. The second one is variety. You want things that you're not going to see every day. You want things that you're not going to find at like Walmart or Target when you're just out grocery shopping. You want things that are a little bit, not necessarily hard to find, like that's ideal, but just things like out of the ordinary to show that they put some thought into it. And yeah, obviously it's ideal to get like exclusive things, but that's not always the case. So you just want to get a good mix of stuff, and also things that appeal to a broad audience. I'm rating these boxes not on my own opinion, but on the opinions of what I think other people would like and what I've heard from the community, what I've heard from you guys via comments and so on and so forth. So just know that when I'm rating these, it's never my opinion. I try to put very little of my opinion into the rating and try to do it for everyone. So these boxes kind of need to appeal to everyone because that goes into the rating. The last V is virtue. And this means, like, how does the company handle themselves? Like, do they have good customer service? Do they respond well? Do they take constructive criticism? Do they have a good website? Like, how this company handles business and how they go about things, because that is a big deal. And as we get into specific boxes, you'll see how that plays a huge part. Also, the V for virtue goes in a little bit into like the quality of items. That has to do in that category too. So did this company like put really nice items? Did they take some time and put thought into it? Or did they cheap out and get like a shitty quality shirt with a bad design? So that goes into virtue, the quality and care that they put into these boxes. So those are the 3 things that we're rating these boxes on. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I don't want to spend too much time talking. Let's just start jumping into some boxes. So number 18 is Infinity Crate. So this box was a disappointment on so many levels. One, their virtue and their company is not good. I had a horrible time dealing with them. I'm not going to go into the story. If you're curious about it, see the individual video that I've done for Infinity Crate. There's only one of them I've done, and it was a hassle and a half. It was just a huge pain in the ass to deal with this company. All I wanted was to buy their box, give them money, and get a box. Like, that's not a lot to ask for, but they just made it practically impossible to do so. It just took months to get one single box, and when I finally did get it, it sucked. There was no thought put into it. They tried to tailor it towards me, and they kind of did. Like, when you really get down to the nitty gritty, they kind of tailored it towards me, but not really though. And the value was terrible, and so on and so forth. So, an update on this box. When I did my review of Infinity Crate, the company, came and added me, subscribed to me, and commented on my video. So this is a common thing for companies to do. A lot of them don't like my reviews because I'm very honest. I'm never being negative. Like, let's get this out of the way right now. Like, when you hear me talking about boxes, I'm never trying to be negative. I'm never trying to bash any of these companies. I'm never trying to hate on anyone. I'm just being honest. And the reason I'm doing that is to try to help you guys out. Because if I'm bullshitting all the time, I'm not going to help anyone. If I'm just saying everything's awesome, then that's not helpful. I need to be honest and I need to be realistic with everyone equally. And that means sometimes honest is kind of like, sometimes it hurts their feelings because sometimes these companies don't put out a good product. I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm sure it comes across that way. I'm just being honest. So many companies have contacted me and gotten really mad at me because of my reviews. And it's like, well, don't get mad at me. Like, look at your own product. Like, I'm here to help you guys. Don't get pissed off. But anyway, Infinity Crate commented on my video. You can refer to it. It's there. And basically, they just defended themselves. There was no apology. There was nothing to make up for what they've done. There was no empathy or anything towards my situation or what they did to me. There was no mention of that. They just defended themselves and the product. They said, well, we do this because of this and this because of this. And it's like, fine, I understand that, but you know, most companies, when they do wrong to their customers, would at least give like a formal apology. At least say like, hey, we're sorry for the inconvenience. I got none of that. Nothing. All they did was defend what things I said about them. And they told me that other people had a fine time getting into the website. Other people didn't have a problem. And I'm like, well, I'm sure they didn't have a problem. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, it was a problem for me. Like, why don't you care about that? I'm sure other people have gotten into the website fine because obviously you're selling products. But the difference was that I signed up for that website 3 different times with 2 separate emails and got the same thing every time. So again, no apology, no remorse, no sympathy for their customers, nothing to make up for it, just a whole lot of hassle and a really bad box. So I replied to that comment saying that, and I was much nicer about it. I didn't say anything hateful. I just, like, you know, had a conversation with them, and again, refer to that comment if you're curious about it. But at the very end, I said, you know, it's kind of shitty that you didn't like give any sort of apology, like nothing. And then I never heard back, as per usual. Like, I don't think I'm going to hear back unless they see this video. So this company really has some work to do. They have some growing to do. They need to work on their website. They need to work on their customer service, and they need to work on their attitude. Be nice to people, you guys. Like, don't be shitty towards me. I'm paying you. Don't be an asshole to me. Be nice. Anyway, that's enough about that. That's the most I'll talk about a box. But yeah, Infinity Crate was definitely number 18. They all 3 of the points, all 3 Vs, they were down, down, down. They were a disappointment in every category across the board. So that's number 18. Moving right along, number 17. All right, number 17. So let me also touch on this point really quick. I'm going to talk as I go along through these videos, so through the boxes. I want to let people know, don't get too caught up on specific numbers here. I'm giving numbers to all these boxes, both ratings and a number 1 through 18. Don't get too caught up on it. It's more of a general thing to help you out. So if I get to number 6 and 7 and you're like, oh, this should have been a different spot, like, don't worry about that too much. These are not like numbers to live and die by. These are just general guidelines to help you kind of get you in the right direction, and that's all. The best way to think about this is in tiers. We have 18 boxes, but think of it as low, mid, and high. Low tier, mid tier, and high tier. Because that's what really matters. When you're looking for the best, you're looking towards the top. When you want to avoid something, look towards the bottom. And the ones in the middle, they may work for you. They didn't work for everyone, but if they strike your particular fancy, then go for it. Like, why not? If it has your specific interest, then I say go for it. So again, don't get too caught up on specific numbers or the ratings I've given it or even the exact dollar amount. It's just not super important to be hypercritical about it. It's just general. That being said, number 17 was Kawaii Box. Now this one, I almost feel bad putting in the countdown because it doesn't really belong in it. It got a lower rating, but it's a different type of box. So for those of you who don't know, Kawaii Box is a Japanese box that has just some Japanese culture in there. It has some plush figures, it had some like food, some candy, some pens and stuff like that. Very minor stuff, but it's just of Japanese culture. Now, this one is kind of out of the ordinary because the rest of them are like nerd, geek, comic book, superhero boxes. Like, that's the theme. This one doesn't really meet that criteria. It kind of does sometimes, but not quite. So that's why this one's kind of out of place, and it doesn't really belong in the countdown that much, but I didn't want to leave it out of the countdown in case people were just curious about it. So the reason it got lower is because the value wasn't great. You got pretty much what you paid for, which is okay. Foreign boxes are always going to be like that. The main reason this got so low is because a lot of the items in here were very generic. So I like the boxes that show other cultures because it's interesting. It's fun to see other cultures and see what's going on, see what they like. But a lot of the stuff in here wasn't specific to Japanese culture. A lot of the things in here I could find in America very easy. Like, they put in like glitter and some pens and things like that. And it's like, well, those aren't special. I can find those just about anywhere. So I hope in the future they stick to strictly Japanese stuff, so you're getting a full immersion of the culture. And I would have got a higher rating if it did. But when it puts stuff that you can find anywhere in the US, anywhere in the world, then it's like, well, then it's not special. Then why am I ordering from that company? Why am I getting it shipped all the way from Japan when I could get it here? So for those reasons, it got a lower score. But this is not a bad box. If you're interested in Japanese culture at all and just want to try some stuff, it's totally worth a try. It's only 20 bucks. It's $19.80, and that's including shipping. So it's actually a really good box. It just couldn't quite hold up to the other ones because it's kind of out of place. So again, nothing wrong with this. Not a bad box. Just it couldn't compete with the others. That's all. So number 17. Sorry, dude. Alrighty. Number 16. Number 16 was ZBOX. So I think I'm deciding that I'm probably just not going to do foreign boxes that much anymore, specifically from the UK. If you haven't watched my videos before, I've had nothing but trouble from the UK. For some reason, they just hate me to my very core and refuse to do business with me. Why? I don't know. I've never gotten an answer. It's just really unfortunate bad luck, and I just always have a huge hassle to deal with every time. Happened with ZBOX, it happened with Infinity Crate, happened with my Geek Box, and I think it happened with one more, but it's just always a pain in the ass. This one is no exception. This one wasn't as bad as the other companies, but it was still a pain. Their website is well established, and they have a well established company, but I constantly had problems with them canceling my orders and then just not telling me. And it's like, okay, I don't like that. That's not okay. And then on top of that, this box was very subpar. First of all, it was beat to shit. Like, everything in here was beat up, and it was all very generic stuff. So the UK companies, I understand why, because most of the things in their boxes are from the US. They're ordering from the US, shipping it to the UK, putting it in a box, and then shipping it back to me. So if you're in the UK, I would still recommend these boxes because the things in here are hard to get for you guys. But for us here in the US, I would definitely not recommend this because very common stuff in the US, very easily attainable, nothing really special about it. There was one item I liked, and that was the Disney Mystery Bag. And that's because that's exclusive to Germany. They're made in Germany, and that's where they're from. That's what I would hope to see from a UK box. Stuff that's exclusive to the area. I understand why it's not because they prefer the US stuff, but that's what I'd like to see. But that was the only thing good about this box. Everything else sucked, and I had problems ordering it. So that's why I got a pretty low spot. So number 16, ZBOX. Alright, on to the next. Number 15. So I apologize in advance for having to stop and start these things. When you watch the video, it looks like I'm having clips edited together. I have to constantly stop and restart my camera because it sucks. So just in case you were wondering, there's really no editing going on. It's just I have to do each clip individually. Not a big deal. It doesn't really matter. Number 15. Geek Me Box. So this one I was bummed to see down so low because normally this is a pretty good box. It's never been fantastic by any means, but it's always been good, at the very least decent. But this month just did not hit it home. They had very generic stuff, Game of Thrones, like we haven't seen that a billion times. Pop, that was just nothing special. And the shirt design was a little bit weird. It wasn't bad or anything, but it just wasn't that great. I didn't love the design whatsoever. And it was pretty much the story with everything in this box. It was just very bland, generic stuff, and the value wasn't very high. It had a very low value. So this got a low score, low value. The company's fine, I have no problem with them, but this is just not their usual thing. They're usually much better than this. And this, I guess, was just a bad box. That's all I can attribute it to, because normally they're very good. But this one, I didn't really like it. I didn't hear anyone else that liked it too much either, with the exception of a few people. So, number 15, Geek Me Box. Number 14. Number 14 was F-Box. So this box is insanely hard to get. This is one of the most difficult boxes to get out there in existence because it just sells out in like a minute, sometimes less than that. They're very limited supply, and they're just very sought after. And to be quite honest, I've gotten 2 of their boxes. I was lucky enough to get 2, and I missed next month's, and I don't know if I'll get another one again because they're so hard to get. But I was very underwhelmed by it. I was very disappointed both times. Like this one and last one, it was just crammed full of Funko stuff. Like they had a theme, and they just put Funko of that in there. This one was Game of Thrones, and I'm just sick to death of the fantasy Game of Thrones theme. Like, we're so done with it. This is like the 10th box that we've gotten of this theme. Like, I'm done. We're done with it. We're good on the Game of Thrones fantasy theme. We're done. Let's be done with it. So, very generic stuff. Nothing at all exciting. The only reason this was any good was because of this. There was a Grey Wind pop figure, and this was exclusive. I think it was exclusive to 7-Eleven, if I'm not mistaken, so it was a 7-Eleven exclusive. Doesn't matter where it's from, but it was an exclusive pop figure, so that's what this box has been known for, getting hard to find things and exclusive things. Last month it didn't have really anything, this month it did, and we'll see in the future. But overall, the themes are very kind of lame, and the other products they put in there are just very generic and very cheap. And so yeah, the only thing that saved this box was that exclusive pop. If that wasn't in there, this would have been the worst. This would have been the worst box. You would have lost money on it. But with the exclusivity of that item, it brought the value up, so it jumped up in the ranking a little bit. But overall, I was still pretty disappointed by it. It was just really nothing special. I just didn't like it too much. So there was that. Number 14. Moving on. Number 13, my Geeky Goodies. So this one was really good for a very short amount of time. I think it was the month before this that was pretty awesome, and the month before that, but this one kind of took a weird turn. So this one had just awkward stuff in it. The pop was okay. The t-shirt was like, it was not a bad t-shirt, but it's just weird. It's a weird design. It's a mix between the Kool-Aid Man and aliens. And then you got your handy corn in here, which is like the most useless thing I've ever seen in my life. It was funny to see in there. It's kind of a joke. And then you got an Ash Pop from Evil Dead. So the items weren't like bad or anything like that. It wasn't like horrible choices, but it was just like so random. And the theme was Mystery Mashup, which could literally mean anything. Like, they could have picked the most random pieces of shit and put it in and been like, mystery mashup! And it's like, oh, there you go. Like, I just think that was a terrible choice for theme, and I think they were just kind of like pigeonholing us and taking the easy way out by giving this super broad theme and just putting whatever the fuck they wanted in there. Like they didn't care. So I was pretty disappointed by it, and I was kind of mad that they did that. Like, they might as well have just not put a theme and just did that. That would have been better off. But they're showing their, like, blatant, like, neglect for that box. So I wasn't too happy about that, and I wasn't excited about that. So, yeah. What are we on? That was 13. Number 12. Number 12 is Geek Fuel. So I hear very mixed reviews on this. I'm usually pretty disappointed by it, but then I hear some people that really like it. I've heard from a lot of people that this is their favorite box. And this is one of the ones, like I mentioned before, it's like a niche market. So if this hits your interest, then I say go for it. But I don't think it hits the interest of everyone. I don't think this is a broad enough box to make everyone happy. The people that like it, love it. And the people that don't like it, hate it. The problem with this box is you always get game codes. They give game codes every month, and it takes up so much value of the box. And game codes are fine. They're totally worth it, but only if you're like a computer gamer, which I'm not. So they're useless to me, and so many people aren't. There are many people that are. If you are a computer or a PC gamer and you use Steam, go for it. This is the perfect box for you. Everything ahead, like, go for this box. But for everyone else, it's just not that good. So they waste a lot of space putting in game codes, and it uses up the value. The reason this box particularly got a little bit higher was because the value is still pretty good. Even if you got rid of the game code, you still had pretty decent value. Like, it's still semi-good. So I still was pretty bummed by it, and it wasn't a great box, but the value was decent. It had some decent quality items. The shirt, again, was kind of weird. It looked a little bit awkward. And the game code, of course. So I'm pretty sure I'm canceling this one because I'm just sick of a game code. And it seems dishonest that this company keeps doing that. That they don't mention anywhere on their site that, hey, there's a game code every single month. Like, most boxes, they'll say, like, hey, we include a shirt and a pop every month. Like, just to let you know. But nowhere on their site do they mention that. So it makes it seem kind of two-faced that they're, like, hiding that fact, that they don't want to divulge that information. I don't know why that's not like dead center on their site, like, hey, every month you're getting a shirt and a game code, just so you know. Because I feel like they think they'll lose customers if they talk about putting in Steam game codes. So I think they're almost not putting it on purpose so they won't lose any business, which is a shitty thing to do, and I don't like that. So I'm pretty sure I'm canceling this one. It's had a long enough run, and I have no use for all these game codes. So again, if you're into Steam, go for it. Everyone else, not so much. Alrighty, moving on. Number 11. We got Hero Crate. So I'm taking a break from this box as well. I don't know what the next month's theme is. I couldn't quite figure it out. I thought it was like James Bond or something, but I couldn't figure it out. But anyway, this month's theme was Superman. So this one, they always have good quality shirts, like good fitting, and the design on this one was pretty cool. I actually really liked it. It kind of like a playing card, like from a deck of cards, with Superman and Clark Kent. So I thought that was a cool design. And some of the items in here were pretty interesting. The only thing I didn't like, they put a wacky wobbler in there, and I'm not a fan of bobbleheads, and I don't think most people are either. I think we just kind of accept them, but I don't think anyone really likes bobbleheads. But that was in there, and I didn't really like that, but that took up a lot of space and a lot of the value. But still, the value is decent, and I try to rate these boxes for a broad audience. Obviously, this is a very specific thing, but the thing about this is it's not a monthly box, so you buy them individually, month at a time. And they give a big hint to who the hero is, so you can usually always figure it out, with the exception of next month. That's the only one I couldn't figure out, but all the other ones, they make it super obvious who it is. Everyone knew it was Superman, so if you don't like Superman and you bought it, like, that's kind of your own fault. So If you didn't like the hero, then just don't buy the box. But if you did, if you love Superman, then this was perfect for you. So that's why it got higher up, because you get to pick and choose, so you can wait till you see someone you really like and you know what you're going to get. You get a t-shirt every time, and it's always good quality. They pick good designs, and they use good t-shirt brands. So that's something comforting to know that that'll always be there, so you don't have to worry about that. Everything else is kind of a toss-up. Usually like a pop figure or a wacky wobbler, like that's usually a Funko thing, and then like a sticker or a patch, like, so you kind of see the same things, but it's cool when you get a hero that you really like. So that's why that got number 11, and I was fairly pleased with it. I'm not a huge fan of Superman, but I definitely don't dislike him, and I liked everything in there, so with the exception of the bobblehead. So yeah, number 11, Hero Crate. Number 10. I'm out of beer. Hold up. Number 10. And this was not Custom Fan. Let's Betoyo Bento box. My bad. Betoyo Bento, number 10. Now this box was very interesting. So this one, also from Japan. It's pretty much an anime box. So you're going to get anime style items. And so far it's been pretty cool. This one, I got a really awesome statue in it, and I'm super pleased with it. It was very cool. It's very unique. It's a big item, and I was very pleased with it. And the other items in here were really cool too. You got some food, which was super weird and awkward tasting, and some other keychains and cool shit. So I like this one, and I'll keep it around for a while, but it's very expensive though. So it's $38 a month, and it's a monthly subscription, so it does cost a lot. But if you like anime, it's definitely one that's worth trying out, because they put a good mix of stuff in here. And I really like it because it's a bunch of stuff that, like, they're off the charts on variety, because everything in here is things that I'm never seeing in the US, I'm never ever going to find in the US, and I could barely even find online. So that's the really cool thing about this. The value on this is never super high. Like I've said, with foreign boxes, you're never going to get double the value, like never. So it doesn't matter where it's coming from. If it's outside the US, I'm sorry, you don't expect double the value ever. But you do get more than you paid for, which you can expect, and you get a good variety of stuff. So I genuinely like this box, and I can't wait to see what next month has, because every box is so exciting because I just have no idea what's in there. I'm never going to see like a Funko product, which I'm psyched about because I'm sick of all the generic Funko stuff. So I'm happy to see cool stuff from Japan that's all collectible. So I'm pretty happy with that. I really liked it. Number 10. Number 9. I get very dehydrated from talking so much. Number 9 is Power Up Box. This was a new box, a new company, new to me. This is the first month I've got it, but I was pretty excited about it because they looked pretty cool and their website's done well, and so I actually had some confidence in them, even though they're a brand new company. The box was so-so. The problem I have with it is it's very expensive. So this box is about $40, which for a US box is really pricey. I'm hoping that they can bring their shipping costs down, because $40 is quite a bit. But the reason this got higher was because I liked that they included a fabrication, so that was cool. Even though it's one I had, and even though these aren't hard to find, they're still the first box that did it. And I like it when they put some bigger items in there, and I think that series is really cool. Also, the t-shirt was just great. It was one of the nicest shirts I've got. Like, the design, it's good. Like, it's nothing spectacular, but it's cool. But it's just really, really nice quality shirt, which is rare to find in these boxes. And then everything else in the box was kind of lame. It was very generic. They put a lot of filler in there. They put stuff with their own logo on there, so it was like, meh. So it was just okay. We're right in the middle now, so we're still in that mid-tier, so none of these boxes blew me away, but it was good. I was happy to get it, and I was okay with spending the money for this box. Like, I wasn't disappointed, and I don't think I lost out at all. So I want to keep this company around, but it's going to be really hard to, because like I said, the value, like $40 a box. And even though, like, you get about $60 worth, so you're never going to get double with this box because that's just too much. Like, you're never going to get $80 worth because that's just too high of a value. So I'm assuming you're always going to get around $50 to $60 worth, which is fairly low. Not bad, but it's fairly low. So we'll see how creative they are with their stuff. If they put in some more super generic stuff and it's all Funko, I'm going to pass on them because it's just too much money. But if they really think outside the box, then we'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's been number 9, Power Up Box. On to the next. Alright, number 8 is 1UP Box. So this one's always pretty high on the charts because you always get amazing value. This box is so cheap. If you're just ordering it for the first time, it's $18, which is the cheapest box out there. But if you got in early like me, you pay $15, and some people only pay $13. So that's pretty cool that that happens. But I still have to rate it based on that $18 value because I'm rating it based on new customers and what new people might be paying. So even with that $18 value, you got easily double your money, maybe even a little more than that because you got really good value. But things that I didn't like about this box, it was a little generic this month. Like, the pop figure was Captain America, nothing special at all about it, no repaint, nothing exclusive, just plainest Captain America one you've ever seen. And this is like I think the 3rd time that this exact figure has shown up in a box. I don't know why people keep jumping to Captain America, but this is what I mean. Like, it's just too generic to put in, so everyone has it already. They gotta do something interesting. I don't think I've ever seen them put anything exclusive. I hope they can at some point, like exclusive pop figure or something like that. But I've never seen it, and sometimes their choices are very generic. And also, their t-shirt, the picture on it was kind of weird. It was a little bit awkward. So it's a crossover between Mario and Batman, which, fine, like, I like Mario, I like Batman, but it was just a weird crossover, and it looks like the design was very cheaply made too. And yeah, so I wasn't a fan of that, and I've talked to other people, and they weren't a fan either. We kind of all agreed that it was a very awkward design, and it wasn't really that cool. So the value was awesome, and this is a great company. They're very good with their customer service, but their choices aren't always top-notch. And as far as their shirts go, like, I keep seeing them, their designs are never that great. I've never been super impressed by it. It always looks very cheaply made, kind of like they designed it themselves. The quality is usually fine, but the actual pictures on there are just never that super. So, seeing as how some other companies have really awesome shirt designs, then I kind of have to be harder on this company for having not good designs. I think they're cheaping out a little bit and trying to save money by creating their own designs, but I don't really like that. And to be quite honest, I'm just never that excited when 1UP Box comes anymore because it's just, you're so limited on what you can get. It's awesome that it's a cheaper box, but that's the problem. You can only do so much with like $18 or $15, how much you're paying. Even if you're getting double, that's pretty much it. Like, if you got a shirt and a pop, like, you're pretty much done. They stuff in a few other like really cheap keychains or stickers and stuff, but that's it. Like, and I'm so sick of like seeing a t-shirt and a pop in every box. Like, I want them to do some variety, which they don't really do. It's pretty much t-shirt and or pop every month, and then a few other like tiny things. So it's just a little bit of a bummer to know exactly what's coming every month, to know the t-shirt designs aren't that cool, to know the pop figure isn't going to be like super awesome or exclusive. So it's like not as exciting anymore. So I'm highly considering canceling that box, even though I'm in on the cheaper rate, but we'll see. So good value, good customer service, but kind of lame items. Alrighty, moving right along. We're making good time. We're making good time in this video. Number 7. Loot Crate. So this one, again, is always very high up on the charts. This company has been around probably the longest of all the companies. So they definitely know what they're doing. And they often have exclusive stuff, including exclusive pop figures, because they've just been around and they've made partnerships with so many people. So they're pretty good about that. The past couple months, though, have been kind of weird. They seem like they're steering off in a different direction. When they started out, it was kind of geared towards like the general nerd and geek audience, but now they've kind of steered off in one direction. So it's more like, I always get confused with the terms. I think it's more geek and less nerd now. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But anyway, so they've been picking topics, and they've just been the items they're not bad, but they're just, I don't know, they're just different. Anyway, this theme was fantasy, and like I said, like we're done with the fantasy theme. We're done. Like, please, can we never see it again? We've had it so much. We're done with it. So they did it too, and what do you know? We saw some Game of Thrones shit, whatever. The shirt was good quality, and you got a good mix of items in here. So that's something you can count on for them. Like, they're pretty good about not putting super generic stuff in there. They really like go out of their way to find some intricate things, which is good. But the problem with that is they get a very small market. So they have a much narrower audience, which can be bad. If you're part of that narrow audience, then it's amazing. This box is immaculate, it had fantastic value, and you loved everything in it. But if you're like me, or like the majority of people, where you're not inside that very narrow market that they're aiming towards, then it's no good. Then it's kind of a bummer. I have nothing against fantasy, I'm just sick of seeing it. And other people will agree with me too. We're just tired of seeing the fantasy Game of Thrones theme. We're over it. So by the time this one came around, a lot of people were disappointed, because we're just sick of the theme by now. But the good news is about it that this is a great company, and the value is always fantastic on this. It's rare that you don't get double your value, and most of the time you get more than twice what you paid for. And this is one of the cheapest boxes. It's only $21 for a monthly subscription, which is one of the cheapest, and they have amazing value always. So I always recommend this for first-time buyers. It's kind of hit or miss with the theme sometimes, but considering it's only $20, like, you just can never really be that pissed off about it. Like, it's hard to be upset about it when you get such great value. Even if you wanted to resell the stuff, you could probably easily make your money back. So it's always a good company in general, and it's always generally good boxes. But again, like I said, they can hit or miss sometimes. So this is always, I'm assuming, going to be higher in the countdown, and I'd like it if they put more like exclusive pop figures and stuff. They're very loose with the term exclusive in their boxes. Most of the things in there they say are exclusive, but it's like really cheap crap, so it's like, but you can go into the individual Loot Crate box if you want to hear my discussion on that. But anyway, that was number 7. On to the next. Alright, number 6. Moving right along. My Geek Box. So this has been by far the worst company I've ever dealt with. If you're wondering about what I had to go through, go watch my first video on my Geek Box. I'll try to put the link in the description below. But, oh my god, it was just a horrible thing that I had to go through with this company. The biggest pain in the ass I've ever dealt with. But at least they apologized, and at least they tried to make up for the wrong they did. Unlike some companies, Infinity Crate, other companies in the UK are actual businesses, and they do care about their customers. So at least there was that. But their box sucked for so long. But it started to pick up, actually. Like last month and this month and the future, like in June, they're actually going to have an exclusive pop figure, which I never thought I'd see. I ended up canceling this box because, just like the other UK ones, I came to the realization that, like, I'm never going to get exclusive stuff. Like, they're ordering stuff from America and then shipping it back to me, so it just didn't seem like a good idea. But this box actually got an exclusive Funko product, which I was so surprised by. So I picked it up for that 1 month to see what it is, but I'm probably not going to keep it around because it is too expensive. The price is very high. It's over $40 to get it shipped to the US, and it's probably not going to be worth it. So even though they have picked up their game a bit, and they've been pretty good lately. They have a general theme, and they have a good mix of items, but it's stuff that's not hard to find in the US. It's always very generic stuff. So if you're in the UK, I would totally recommend this. This has been a pretty decent box for us in the US the past 2 months, but I'm sure it's awesome for anyone in the UK. So if you're in the UK, I'm sure the customer service is fine for you, and I'm sure you have no problems, so go for it. If you're in the US, I'd say proceed with caution. I've had more than my fair share of trouble with this company, and the box at best was just okay. At their best one, it was just okay. Nothing amazing, but we'll see what that June box is. I'm not too hopeful. I'm curious to see what the exclusive pop is, because they said it was an exclusive sculpt. It wasn't just an exclusive paint job. It's actually an individually sculpted one just for them, which is impressive. Like, most boxes don't get that. So I'm pretty shocked that they got that, but we'll see what that is, and we'll see where the company goes. But anyway, this has been number 6, my Geek Box from the UK. Whew, number 5 is Custom Fan Box. So last month, this was number 1 because it was amazing. It took a step down this month because the items were just okay. It seemed like an odd mix of items, and they did technically hit my interests, which we all appreciate that they're doing that, but very vaguely hit the interest. It was just very vaguely touched on the interests that I picked. So if I didn't know any better, I would say these weren't in my interest at all. These may well have been kind of random items. They were still okay. They were still good items, but nothing amazing. The reason it still gets pretty high is because their t-shirts are amazing. They have such awesome designs, and you get to pick your design, so you're just never going to be disappointed by it, which is a huge, huge deal for boxes. I can't tell you how often I'm disappointed by shirts, and their quality, and their design, and their picture, and the logo, like whatever. Like, disappointed by that. And they don't plaster their custom fan box logo on any of their shirts, which we also appreciate, so that's a big deal. And the fact that you can choose your interests, even if you get crappy stuff, like, which is bound to happen eventually with any box, at least you get to kind of steer them in the right direction. At least I know I'm never going to get anything Game of Thrones or fantasy in here, which thank God for that. So it's never perfect. It's not a perfect system, and I don't expect them to be. They're human. They're doing the best they can with what they've got, but at least they're trying. At least they're trying to hone in on your interest, and at least they're doing a semi-decent job at it. And the value is good. You got right around double your value, which is great, especially considering you love the shirt because you picked it, and you got stuff that was generally in your interest. So I'm pretty pleased with this box. Next month, they're doing a weird thing. They're not doing shirts, they're doing sandals, which is a terrible idea, I think. Like, bad choice. Unless you live in California, you're probably not wearing sandals. I live in California, and I don't wear any sandals. I don't own a single pair of sandals. I hate sandals. They're annoying, they're uncomfortable, and they make noise when you walk. Like, fuck that. Like, I hate sandals. So I don't know if I'm going to order from them this month because I don't want that. So I may skip one, but we'll see. But even if I do, I'm sure they'll do shirts again the month after, and it'll be awesome again. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with this company, and I encourage everyone to try it out at least once. Maybe not this next month with the whole sandal shit they got going on, but in the future, just try them out. Like, it's worth a try, and it's only $30 if you get a shirt and less if you don't, so I think it's worth it. I thought it was a very good box, and I'm happy to put it at number 5. Custom Fan Box. Moving on. Number 4. This should be no surprise. Arcade Block. So this is a very good company. They have a few options for you. They have their classic block, arcade, horror, the junior boxes, and now recently they have their comic one. So this is a very good company. They have fantastic customer service, and it's a well-established company. They handle everything very appropriately, and they do a damn good job. Considering they put out this many boxes with that many different themes, I'm pretty impressed with them almost every month. Like, it's pretty impressive how they handle things. And that's why I put some of these boxes to shame where like some boxes only put out one box a month of one theme that they pick and they still do a crappy job. This one's just like doing all this shit and they do a great job. They give you great value, they give good variety, they put thought into it, there's interesting items, there's stuff I don't see every day, so all around like they are very good at what they do. And just a quick overview, like we got some salt shakers, we got a CD that I found out is worth more than I thought of like a famous artist, and a cool shirt with a design, a figure, and a lot of times you get exclusive stuff. They're very good about getting exclusive items, so I would recommend trying at least one of their boxes. I wouldn't recommend the comic book box. I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm not too excited for it. If you're really into comic books and you buy dozens of comic books every month, then yeah, go for it, try it out. But if anyone else is going for it, I would avoid it because it's strictly comic books. It's not like the rest of them where it's a mix of that genre. It's strictly comic books and a shirt. So I don't know if I'm ever going to get it. I might try it out once just to see, but that's probably the most I'll do because it just doesn't look that good. But anyway, other than that, yeah. So you pay $30 for most of their boxes and you're usually going to get around $50 worth of value. This is no exception. You got right around that, so pretty close to double. Good variety, good everything. So why not? Try them out. Try out one of what you're most interested in. So yeah, number 4. On to the next. All right, number 3. We made it to the top 3. Let's do it. So, number 3 is Collectible Geek, which is very surprising to see this box anywhere near the top because if anyone's watched my videos before, you know that this box sucked for a long time. It was always on the very bottom of the countdown. It was bad. It was a very bad box. Terrible value, bad pretty much everything. So this is one of those companies that came and spread their hate mail on me, saying how much they hated my review, talking about how negative and whatever. So I had a long ongoing thing with this company, and I pretty much told them, like, you know, this goes for any company. Like, I'm never, again, let me reiterate, I'm never trying to be hateful or negative or trying to bash any company ever. I'm just being honest. And if these companies are offended by my honesty, then that's a problem. All that is their insecurities shining through. They're insecure in their own company. They're insecure in their own product. These companies, and all of them, not just this one, should take my reviews as constructive criticism. That's the way to do it. So they should take that as a pointer and then build from that. If they're just going to be insecure and be offended by my reviews, then it's like, well, then I have no sympathy for you. But this company, they came to me and they were mad at first, but I told them, like, hey, I understand what you're going through, but I'm not here to hate on you. I'm here to help you. Let me help you. I have my opinions. I have a lot of things to say. Let me help you guys be a better company. And that's why I stuck with them, because I saw the potential in this company. So we worked together, and they actually took my advice, as well they do for all of their customers. They actually listen to their customers, which is a big deal. And this has gone from the very bottom to almost the top. This is the first one I've gotten. I skipped a few months because I needed them to develop more before I jumped back on board. But they really stepped it up and they did so much better, and I'm so happy that they're like finally coming into fruition. And their next box, the Ninja Turtles one, I can't wait for it. But they had good stuff. They had good quality stuff. They had a good mix. This was Avengers theme. They had stuff that wasn't super generic. They had stuff that I haven't seen before. So I was thoroughly impressed, and I'm so happy that this company has made a full turnaround. I'm happy to have been a part of it. I'm happy to have helped. I'm happy that they listen to their customers. So I was very pleased with this box, and I liked most of the things in it. And we'll see what the Ninja Turtles one is if they keep that momentum and keep going forward, which I really hope they do, because they seem like really good people. I've personally talked to the CEO and a few of their employees, and they seem like genuinely good people. So I hope that they keep this momentum, and I hope to see them much more often. I really like them. So Collectible Geek, number 3. You guys finally earned it. Congratulations. Number 2. We got Nerd Block Classic. So this was weird only because Arcade Block and Nerd Block usually flip-flop between good and bad. Every monthly review I've done, one's been on top and one's been near the bottom, and it switches every month. But this month they actually were both pretty high up there, which is impressive. The reason this got number 2 is because I really like the items, and they proved their customer service with this box more than any other box for a few reasons. One, you got an exclusive figure from Titans, which is a great company, and it's Ghostbusters, which I love and which so many people love, and it was a special like the Ecto one, so many things about this were cool, and it's always awesome to get an exclusive figure of a company you like and of a movie you like, so that in itself was phenomenal. Like, I couldn't have been more excited about that one item. That aside, this was put into their classic and their horror block, but they actually went out of their way to contact their customers and say, listen, we're putting a duplicate item, here's an option to opt out and get something else, which is a huge deal because I've had a problem with this company of putting duplicate items. And I've told them before specifically, like, they need to realize that many of their customers order more than one block, like arcade and classic, or horror and classic, or whatever. Most people will order more than one from this company. And they need to realize that and not put duplicate items, because it made everyone so mad when they got 2 of the same thing when they paid for 2 different months. So the fact that they did that was such a big deal. On top of that, my stuff came broken. A lot of it did. No big deal. But I just got my next month's box, and they replaced it like they promised they would. So they kept their word. They kept good customer service. They totally replaced the items. So both of those is a huge deal with companies. I have so many problems with customer service. So the fact that they went out of their way to really show that they cared about their customers is a huge deal. And that's what I'm saying. Obviously, this is a big company. They have all the different blocks they put out every month, but they still care about their customers. That's why I shame these other companies for not doing that when they only have one box. There's just no excuse for bad customer service. There isn't. There just is not one, and I don't care what it is. So I'm so pleased that they have that, and this exclusive item was awesome. It had a good mix of stuff in here. It was curated by Kevin Smith, who is an awesome guy, and I love him. He's great too. So all around, I genuinely liked this box, and it had very good choices. So I was pretty pleased with that. And again, this company is getting better and better, and I'm excited to see the future. I hope they get more curators and things like that to do more of their boxes, because this has been great, and I really liked it. So here's to the future for them. Cheers. Alright, we're here. The top of the countdown, number 1. We finally made it, and we made pretty good time. I try to keep this video as short as possible, but short means something different to everyone. So let's move on. Number 1 is, no surprise, the Marvel Collector Core box. This box was a big deal. This is the first time anyone's ever got it. They announced it like 4 months ago or something crazy like that, and everyone's been on pins and needles waiting for this box because it's Funko and it's Marvel putting out this box. 2 major titans of things that I love, things that everyone loves, of figures, of exclusivity. Everything about it was just sounded amazing. And they promised 100% exclusive items every time. The only complaint I have about this company is it's only every other month. You don't get it every month, which sucks. I hate that. I wish they would do every month and maybe include less or do less exclusive something, but they've decided it's every other month, no big deal. But this box was immaculate. So I've talked to some people. Most people were very pleased with it. Some people were so-so on it, but I don't think anyone can deny that this wasn't the best box of the month. I don't think anyone out there, I don't know if anyone would put something different because it hit everything. The value, you got more than, considering everything was exclusive, when you figure out the numbers on this, the value you got, I think you got more than triple your value when you figure it out. Like, it was a crazy amount of value considering how much everything in here is actually worth. The value was crazy. And variety, everything was exclusive. It's the first time anyone's seen any of these things. Everything was exclusive, and it was all good stuff. Like, the Avengers is awesome, and that was great. And From what I've seen from this company, everything's been good. I don't really have any complaints about it, but I haven't really had any problems with it. So we'll see about that, but Funko and Marvel, I'm sure they handle customers just fine. I'm sure they have plenty of experience, so I'm sure their company is great. But the stuff in here was awesome. I think everyone was excited to see the Hulkbuster pop. Everyone was excited to see the first glimpse of Dorbs. We've never seen these figures out before. This is the very first one out. I thought the t-shirt was great. It fit nice. It had good quality. The only complaint I really heard was the comic book. It wasn't bagged and boarded. It just was in there. Mine wasn't damaged, and I don't think anyone else's was too, but I think people would appreciate if they were bagged and boarded because it is collectible, it is exclusive. But all around, this box was amazing. I can't say the next box will be the same. I'm kind of curious what they'll do with Ant-Man. It's a very much smaller market. He's a less popular character considering he's brand new to the whole cinema area. Avengers is a big deal, so it's a little bit different. But this box was just all around amazing, and I'm so excited. It was totally worth the money, like, in all areas of it. The only people that I talked to that didn't like it are people that, like, aren't a fan of Marvel. And it's like, well, if you're not a fan of Marvel, don't get the box. But other than that, everyone was pretty pleased with it. It was pretty amazing, and there's just not much more to say. It well deserved the #1 spot. It beat out these other boxes by leaps and bounds, so it was amazing. If anyone hasn't subscribed to it, I highly recommend it. Even if you don't like Marvel or like the box, even if you wanted to sell this stuff, like, you'd make so much money off of it. I'm not going to because I really like everything, but all around, it was a beautiful box. So that took the #1 spot, and it well deserved it. So that's been all the boxes. Let's do a quick wrap-up. Alright, well, this has been the Beardy Nerd, and this has been my monthly review. You've seen all the boxes, you've seen it first here. There you have it. I tried to keep this video nice and short. I think I did a decent job on it. But short is a relative term, so when you see how long my other videos are, considering how many boxes we had, we made fairly good time. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. I hope I was able to help. That's what I'm here for. So again, to reiterate, this channel is about helping you guys. It's about the community. I would be nothing without you guys. I'm so thankful to every subscriber I have. I try to take every comment into consideration. I try to reply to every comment, or at the very least like it, to make sure that your thoughts are heard. I want this to be a community. I want you to be able to come to this channel and feel like you can discuss things and be heard by me personally. So that's what we do here, and I hope it was somewhat helpful. I hope you've were able to maybe decide what box you might want to do if you're doing one or if you're doing a couple. So I hope this was helpful to help you decide what to do. So next month is going to be much smaller, thank God, because this is too much. This is way too many boxes. Like, let's be honest, it's too many to go through. It's too many to decide from. I need to narrow it down. Also, some of these boxes that have been here from the start, I'm going to start canceling just because they've had a long enough run. Some of them are just kind of skating by, and I think it's time to switch them out. There are new companies starting every single month, and they deserve a chance. Or at the very least, they deserve a chance to get their name out there and get a review. I get blown up all day, like at least like 4 or 5 comments a day about new boxes coming out. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And I can't because I'm just so overloaded with stuff. It's too expensive. So I need to cancel them, and I need to give them a month or two to fade out because you pay months in advance. So I need to let them phase out and then try some new ones. So we're going to dip down for a little bit. Do a month or two with a small amount of boxes, and then we'll go from there and start trying some new stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys ever have any questions, and if there are any new box companies out there, I'm sure some of them are watching this channel. Feel free to contact me. I'm always around to help. I'm always around to try out your box if you need tips, if you need advice, or if any of the companies that were listed here are watching this, please don't take anything negative. Don't take anything other than what it is, just my honest opinion. Take it as constructive criticism. Contact me. We'll work something out. I'm happy to help. And for all my subscribers, thank you to everyone out there that has been helpful to this channel. I'll leave links in the description for referral codes to get discounts if you want anything like that, or if you want to contact me, anything you need. let me know. I love you all so much. Thank you. If you've made it this far through the video, you are a champion. Thank you for watching, however long this has been at this point. You are amazing. Love you all. Peace.